All right, back for another Whodunit Beer review, and today I will be reviewing the third and final beer that was sent to me by a friend of mine and a viewer of the channel, Jeff, aka NoJinx. So thank you very much, Jeff. You know I appreciate it. In the description box, you will find a link to the beer mail unboxing video that I did of all the goodies Jeff sent my way. He basically sent me a huge box of Michigan goodness. Most of the beers are barrel-aged, but he also hooked me up with 3 different Whodunit / mystery beers. And I've already reviewed 2 of the 3 so far, and so far I've done a pretty solid job, an okay job. I didn't nail either of them, but I also didn't foo bar either of them, so I'm kind of happy with the first 2 Whodunit beer reviews. I'm hoping I nail this one or come closer because I can't go 0 for 3, can I? Yeah, I can. It's the Beer PaTroll. You don't expect anything but mediocrity. Anyway, if you're unfamiliar with what Whodunit / mystery beer reviews are, they're basically blind beer reviews. Somebody will wrap up and conceal a beer like so. They will then either send or give me said beer, and then I will review the beer like I do any other beer on my channel, with the lone exception being I have no idea what it is. So at the end of the review, I'll try to guess the style, the ABV, and if I'm feeling confident enough, I'll try to guess the exact beer itself. I will also give the beer a rating like I do all other beers on my channel before I reveal it, so you guys know how I'm feeling about it. Anyway, this beer is in a 12-ounce can. It has Christmas wrapping paper on it, like all of the beers. So we have a Whodunit Christmas theme, I guess. That's what Jeff was kind of going for. And that's all I know about it. So we're going to crack it open. We're going to throw it into a glass, and we're going to see what's going on. This one is been on the fridge for about an hour. I've had some technical difficulties. I was going to review, and then I had a phone call, a couple other things. So this has been out of the fridge for about an hour. Anyway, let's give it a pour. Ooh. So from the get-go, I'm going to say that, how are we going to do that like that? I'm going to say this is kind of pouring out like, that looks kind of like a barley wine, an old ale, Scotch ale, something like that. Yeah, very deep, like caramel mahogany, dark brown hints to it. Had about a half finger of a basically straight up khaki colored head. It was slightly creamy looking. It's dissipating to a thin film. So yeah, I mean, it looks really nice in the glass. Let's get a nose. This has to be barrel-aged, right? This has to be barrel-aged. Oh, yeah. So right from the get-go, I'm picking up on, usually you just say bourbon or whiskey, right? But there's a little bit of a complexity to the nose here. I'm getting a like a slight spiciness, maybe like a rye whiskey, or maybe the base beer has rye in it. Tons of burnt sugars, like caramel, toffee, just like a confectionery burnt sugar, brown sugar. There's also like big dark fruit vibes, raisins and dates, prunes. This is giving me a barrel-aged barley wine, barrel-aged old ale, barrel-aged Scotch ale, kind of like, it's given the bigger, darker, you know, malt-driven styles. This is kind of what I'm reminded of while smelling this. It doesn't smell like boozy, but there's definite, like, I feel like it's definitely barrel-aged, or there's an oak aging going on here. Vanilla and oak. Yeah, if I had to guess the barrel just based on the nose, which I don't have to do that till then, but it's giving me like a spiciness. It could be like a rye whiskey. Could be maybe like rum. Maybe, I don't know. I'm leaning more towards like rye whiskey or bourbon. But yeah, it doesn't smell boozy. It just smells very rich and decadent and just very sugar heavy. But it smells pretty good, so let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. It's definitely a bigger booze component to the taste. All right, so there's a barrel involved here of some sort. So first thing I can say is that the body is like medium full, lower side of full body, a little bit of heft behind it. The mouthfeel itself, soft, slightly smooth. There is carbonation there. There's a huge dryness on the back end. Could be oak tannins, could be just the dryness of the beer itself. There's a lot of dark fruit here. More raisins and like dark cherries. The base beers, I'm leaning towards, all right, this is what I'm going to say about this one. This is giving me like slight Backwoods Bastard vibes to it from Founders. It's not as robust or as good as that one, but it's like somebody slightly watered down Backwoods Bastard. I know that sounds, like not a great tasting note or anything, but I'm getting a lot of the same characteristics I get in Backwoods Bastard. There's a lot of, like I said, dark fruits, raisins, cherries, prunes, dates. But then there's that nice caramel toffee, confectionery, burnt sugar vibe to it, brown sugar, touch of molasses. Edges of the tongue and whatnot, vanilla. Definitely a bourbon character here. I still want to stick by rye whiskey. The back of the palate, actually, hang on. What was that? That was weird. Like, as I was talking, I got something in the back of the palate, like on the finish, that reminded me of like rum-soaked raisins. That's kind of what I was getting. So now I'm confused. I feel there's a barrel here. And now I'm confused between bourbon and rye and rum. I don't think it's rum. It was just weird. I got rum-soaked raisins. A lot of times I get that in like big, just dark, potentially old ales, barley wine, Scotch ales. It's definitely one of those three styles. This is actually, I don't know why I'm doing this like I'm warming it up. Like I said, it's been out of the fridge for an hour, but it is probably drinking 55-ish. Yeah, it's like a watered down Backwoods Bastard to me. It's a solid beer, not blowing me away, but it's a good beer. I'm starting to get like a warming into the chest, into the stomach. So, oh man, this is all over the place. What? I don't even know what to think about this one right now. The base style, I'm leaning towards like a wee heavy, a Scotch ale wee heavy, but there's not many 12-ounce cans that I can think off the top of my head. Again, in Michigan, there's a crap ton of breweries and whatnot, so it could be a ton of different beers, if this is a Michigan beer, of course. But, I'll stick to my guns. I'm going to say this is a wee heavy, a Scotch ale. What is Backwoods Bastard in terms of ABV? Is that like 10 and a half? This drink's bigger than that. I'd put this into the 11, 12 range based on the warming in the chest, the barrel presence, everything just screams real big, big beer. I'm going to say 11.2. We'll just go 11.2. Watch it be like 8 or something. I've been terrible with the ABVs. The first two Whodunit beers, I was off by like 1.5 to 2%. So I'm going to say 11.2. So we're going to go with, it's a wee heavy / Scotch ale at 11.2%. The barrel in here. Is it a blend maybe? So much stuff going on. There's a spiciness you get from like rye whiskey. Then there's just like a nice smoothness from the bourbon. Then I got that rum-soaked raisins. I'm going to say straight up rye whiskey. It's a barrel-aged rye whiskey. I would not be surprised if it's a blend. It's probably not. But I'll just going to go with Scotch ale, aged in rye whiskey. Wouldn't be surprised if it's a blend or another barrel. 11.2%. I have no idea who makes this. Rating on this is like 4, a little bit higher than 4, maybe like 4.1. Let's crack it open. I'm going to pour the rest in here. I'm not confident about this one. I feel like this one was all over the place. And yeah, not really feeling good right about this one. Let's see what this is. Let me get the bottom here. Jeff did a really good job with the electrical tape, but man, is it a pain in the ass to get off. I'm going to ruin the can before I get the beer open. Okay, I still don't know because I'm ruining the can as we speak. Stuff's going flying all over. Let me get out the box cutter here. See if that helped out at all. I think it did. What do we got? Black Rock. I think I've had their cream ale. Spilling beer all over myself, which is always a fun time. All right, finally got into it. Let's see what this is. Ruined the can in the process. So yeah, like I said, 4.1 on this one. I enjoyed it. It was like a watered down Backwoods Bastard. Watch it be something completely stupid. Anyway, what do we have here? Barrel aged, the Barbaric Yop. I love Dead Poet Society. I hope that is a reference to that. What is it? What is it? This is our Burley Scotch Ale, aged in rum, rye, and bourbon barrels, and then blended. An ale that is sure to bring out the yop in all of us. Anything, where's the ABV? Rum, rye, bourbon, blah, blah, blah. Black Rocks, I didn't review their cream ale. Eric Lyons fan, he sent me their cream ale like last year, sometime early last year. Is there no ABV on this thing? Maybe on the bottom? 11% ABV and packaged on December 10th of 2018. All right, so I came damn, I'm like shaking. When I do well on these, I always shake. I'm like, holy shit. Okay, so I said it was a Scotch ale / wee heavy. They say a Burley Scotch ale, which is basically wee heavy. I said it was aged in rye whiskey. I would not be surprised it was a blend. Turns out it's rum, rye, and bourbon, which doesn't surprise me. It was all over the place in the taste. It was just like I was getting like notes of all three, but I didn't really think it was a blend. I just said that to kind of cover my ass, but I really thought it was rye whiskey. And then 11%, I said 11.2. Yeah, I mean, I pretty much nailed it as best as I probably can. And I'm very happy I did, because the first two, like I said, I was okay with how they went, but I really didn't do a great job. So this one kind of redeems this terrible palate. But yeah, this is a pretty good beer. Like I said, it's good. It's like a watered down Backwoods Bastard though. At 11%, you can definitely tell it's 11%, which is why I guessed 11.2. And on top of that, the thing about it is it just has lighter characteristics. It's not as sweet as Backwoods Bastard is, but it has more barrel presence than that beer. At the same time, it's a good beer. Like I said, 4.1 I'd give it. Backwoods Bastard for me is one of the best Founders beers, probably my favorite Founders beer. So certainly not on that level for me personally, but it's still a damn good beer. So that was Black Rocks. Where are they out of? Native brewed in Marquette, Michigan. So yeah, Black Rocks Brewery in Marquette, Michigan. It was their barrel-aged, the Barbaric Yop. I'd like to try the base beer at some point just to see how much this, assuming there's a base beer, I have no idea. Doesn't say much about it. But anyway, yeah. 4.1 out of 5, the Barbaric Yop from Black Rocks. And I think I did a pretty damn good job. So appreciate you guys all stopping by for another Whodunit Beer review. And I really appreciate Jeff sending out all the beers to me, but the Whodunit beers were a lot of fun. And I'm glad I pretty much nailed this one, because I was going to be disappointed if I didn't come close. Anyway, appreciate everybody stopping by. Until the next one, cheers.